Hey, the Red Rocker, Sammy, Hagar, and this is the 24th anniversary of For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, the Fuck Van Halen record. And no pun intended. For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge was our third #1 album in a row on Billboard Top 100. Quite a feat for any band. Very few bands have a run like that. And then Balance came along and 4 in a row studio albums. Great record. One of my favorite Van Halen records. 24 years. That record's been in the bars for 3 years now. You know, that album, we came up with the title For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge because I wanted to call the album Fuck Censorship. I wanted to say it. Fuck Censorship. Because at that time, that was when Two Live Crew was having all that trouble. And the government, the wives of some senators and so forth were starting this big campaign against rock bands and censorship. And I'm thinking, we are moved, that is a backwards move. We have moved so far from that, you know, freedom of speech and all this, you know, censorship crap, you know, and I was really angry about it. So I want to call the album Fuck Censorship. And of course, nobody else is going for that. The record company, the management, the marketing people going, how are you going to get that in Kmart? I said, put it in a brown bag. So that was our first idea. Okay, we'll put it in a brown paper wrapper and just put Van Halen on the front of it. So then I'm sitting there with Ray Boom Boom Mancini, the fighter, right? And I'm asking him, Ray, teach me, you know, how to throw a left hook. I was training, you know, a little bit with speed bag and with a heavy bag and jumping rope. I was doing my old boxer training, running on the beach, and he's showing me how to throw a left hook, and he said, how's the record coming, man? You know, he's a big fan, and boom, hitting the back, boom. And I'm saying, you know, I don't know, what are you gonna call it? And I said, fuck. And he said, well, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. I said, what? And he goes, you don't know where that came from? And I said, no, I had no idea. And he said, it was those stockade things where they put the people's wrists through them and put their head through them and clamp it down. You're sitting in a town square like this. And he said they would put F period, U period, C period, K period for unlawful carnal knowledge. You know, you got caught messing with another guy's old lady and the guy was powerful. He'd put you in one of them stockades in the town square and people would walk by and they go, ah, fuck, you know. So that's where it came from. That's where the word fuck came from, for unlawful carnal knowledge, okay? So I said, there's the name of the title, walked in with that. Everybody said, perfect, good, and it's now known as the Fuck record. Sold about 4 or 5 million records to date, maybe 6, I don't know. One of my favorite Van Halen records. The recording of that record was tough. Anyone that read my autobiography read, it was a hard time for me. My ex-wife was going through kind of a nervous breakdown, and I was having a lot of problems at home, and so I couldn't just hole up in the studio like we'd do most of the records in Van Halen, you know, from 5150 and all that. I mean, we just, Eddie, Alex, and Michael and myself, we just, you know, lock ourselves in the studio and come out with a record. And this was the first time we couldn't do it like that. We worked on For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge for like a year. So the songwriting was like drawn out. I would get behind on the lyrics because I wouldn't have time to focus on it. But in the end, I think it's a great, great record. I mean, Poundcake, Right Now. I mean, Right Now alone, you know. I think the cool thing about Right Now was that it was the last song we wrote on the record. It was kind of like Dreams from 5150. We thought we were done. Eddie kept playing the piano part. I kept singing these lyrics, you know, right now, it's your tomorrow. And finally, the two came together. I know you've heard the story before, but just as long as we're talking about For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, we can bring it up again. I was laying on the beach, and I was supposed to go in the studio. I was taking a break from doctors and psychiatrists and stuff in my house. And I was laying on the beach and I felt so good. It was just a beautiful, warm day in Malibu, and I'm laying there and the sun's soaking, the waves are crashing, and I kind of fell into like a meditation. It was like meditation. I was just laying there. I felt like all of a sudden I was in the moment. I was right there, And I just thought when I came out of it, I thought, all of a sudden I remembered all the things I had to do and all that stuff. And I thought, wow, I just really want to be there. That's where I want to be. I want to, right now, I just want to be right back in that spot. How can I get back to that point? And I just started writing that song. And I really feel when you write a song like that from a real experience, immediately, when you immediately start writing it, a song like Right Now is a timeless song. It'll be great forever. To where sometimes when you make things up and you just kind of, you know, work on it a little here, a little bit there, and you finally come up with a clever line here, a clever line there. To me, those aren't, well, for me, those haven't been the songs that last forever. It's like I Can't Drive 55. As silly as it sounds, I wrote that in 5 minutes because the whole picture came. I had a real experience. Well, that was Right Now. That's the way that song came together. So, you know, we put that together and we had the album finished. And that album was produced and engineered by the late, great Andy Johns, who did some of the greatest Led Zeppelin records, some of the greatest Stones records, Cream records, Free records, you know, our hero. And Alex wanted him so that we could get the big, when the levee breaks, drum sound. If that bring you full circle, let's bring you full circle. When the levee breaks, Jason Bonham, John Bonham, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, Andy Johns, yeah. Anyway, okay. And so when we got that drum sound, which took forever in that studio, because Eddie's studio was just a little garage, it didn't really have the ambience to do that. So Andy Johns did a great job. And when I did the vocal on that, I remember in the end screaming, "Wow, that's my one." And Andy got the goosebumps. He's looking behind the counter and he's looking at me when I'm singing. He's pointing to his arm. He's got the furs all up. And just moments like that in the studio when you remember doing that to someone, it's something that I judge everything off of a vocal, a mix, a song. If it gives me the goosebumps, it's done. It's like, no, forget it. That's it, you know? And a lot of goosebump moments on there. Right Now had some goosebump moments to it as well. For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, I think it's really a deep Van Halen record. Nice departure from this party in the early years of Van Halen. I think we really made a giant step on that record. Very proud of it.